Istanbul is a city that has witnessed some of the most beautiful examples of the culture of living together. Both before and after its conquest, communities belonging to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have experienced centuries of living together. Similarities can be seen in the musical tones of the texts recited in their places of worship. However, it is important to use the term similarity carefully. Systematic research shows that following a cautious resemblance approach would be more accurate. When detailed technical examinations are conducted, some significant differences can be seen in the recitation of liturgical texts, especially in the maqam style of reciting holy book texts. However, it is remarkable that some technical similarities exist in the maqam approaches used in melodies sung in hymns, rhythmic structures, methods, vocal usage, and musical notation methods. Let us focus on the characteristics of the sacred tones in the mosques and places of worship of both Muslim and non-Muslim communities in Istanbul. In Turkish Islamic culture, the concept of beauty is shaped by the principle that it manifests on a legitimate ground. Based on the hadith Allah is beautiful and loves beauty, every kind of beautiful sound has become an important part of Islamic culture. Additionally, music is believed to be inherent in human nature, creation. Islamic civilizations have accepted every kind of musical approach that is in line with the belief in Tawhid within a free range of movement. It has been observed that leading scholars have taken an approach where knowledge is considered holistically in subjects such as music, literature, philosophy, theology, medicine, and astronomy, and they cannot be thought of as separate from one another. This approach can be summarized by the expression, knowledge should be legitimate and for reaching Allah. Music tradition in the Islamic world is performed with human voice, especially during worship and before it in the great historic mosques located in Istanbul. This music, which is mostly performed improvisationally, is oriented towards worship rather than earthly pleasures and displays a spiritual attitude. The sound range continues within a maximum of 1 octave. Creating a musical texture by the imam or muezzins beyond these limits leads to criticisms. This music, usually recited in Arabic, is performed by a group of muezzins who have composed it or by a single person. The musical performance in the mosque is an aesthetic tool used to support the worship processes of believers. There is a musical reflex in religious music called temple music, which consists of only male vocals or choir, especially used on special religious days, except for a special trumpet called shofar. The style used by the Sephardic community is created with throaty melodies and motifs based on the Hansar. It can be said that the tamim notation, a special notation form used in Torah recitation, is similar to the siga mode in Turkish music in the melodic structure in Istanbul synagogues. If we classify Jewish religious music forms, we can mention the synagogue hymns, Zemarat and Maftarim especially. The rhythms, modes and general formal characters used in both forms show significant similarities with the Ilahi form in Turkish religious music. The Sephardic community living in Istanbul prefers to use Turkish music terminology to express their religious music. In this context, it can be said that the modes used in Jewish religious music are similar to the Usak, Rast, Hazam, Asamasaran, Saba, Hikez, Huzani, Suzanak and Nihavant modes in Turkish music. The Syriac notation tradition is similar to the standard European music notation. The religious music of the Syriac Orthodox Church has a vocal-based structure rather than instruments where both female and male voices are used. Similar style is used in the Armenian and Greek Orthodox churches. It can be seen that different modes are preferred for 8 weeks in weekly liturgies. There are religious music forms similar to the divine music forms such as Ilahi, Nat, Dua, Tefsi and Mevlid in Turkish religious music. The Syriac religious music sources published in Turkey resemble the Huzani, Hikez, Saba, Asamasaran, Hazam, Rast, Siga, Asam and Usak modes in Turkish music tradition. Before the conquest, the Greek Orthodox community in Istanbul had a significant interaction with Turkish Islamic culture and art after the conquest. In terms of musical culture, it can be seen that Greek Orthodox hymns have a structure similar to traditional melodies. The musical culture that continues in Greek Orthodox gatherings in Istanbul is actually the Byzantine music culture. This musical heritage is largely continued in Orthodox churches in Greece, and even today, the education of this culture is taught academically within the Greek education system. The cantors serving in Greek Orthodox churches use the Byzantine music notation system. Apart from religious officials, the number of people who know this notation system is quite low. The musical character of Greek Orthodox church music consists of throat melodies and musical phrases created in modal style. Female voice is not used in the church, only performances with male vocals in solo and chorus forms can be made. In addition, no instruments are used during liturgy. Similar to Turkish religious music, the religious music forms of the Greek Orthodox Church can be encountered as structures similar to prayer, mourning, ascension, kasida and hymn forms. Although the terminology used is completely different, when examined in terms of modes, structures similar to the Neva, Evik, Iraq, Karga, Hüseyni, Hikaz, Hazam, Rast, Sigat and Yusak modes in Turkish music can be seen. In Greek Orthodox liturgies, 8-week modal changes based on a theological basis, like in other Eastern churches, are made every week. Armenians in Istanbul, like other non-Muslim communities, are an important part of Istanbul's culture of coexistence. They carry within themselves the liturgical reflexes of Eastern churches, particularly in the context of religious music tradition, while also using polyphonic church music tones in their ceremonies. Single melody modal and multi-voice tonal/modal religious music examples can be seen in Istanbul. In addition, only male voices are preferred in ceremonies, and the organ can be used as an instrument accompanying human voice. The Armenian church shapes its ceremonies musically with mode preferences changing from week to week. In the modes used, structures similar to the Turkish music modes such as Mihair, Nihavend, Asam, Heftga, Hüseyni, Hikaz, Saba, Asamasharan, and Ushak can be encountered. Worship services in Presbyterian churches have a relatively new quality compared to other ancient non-Muslim communities, where Eastern or Western musical instruments can be used and a monophonic musical style is preferred. While the modal structure and instrumentation are similar to Turkish music, Western musical instruments can also be used. Both female and male voices can be used in services, and preferred modes are Siga, Rast, Nehavant, Hikaz, and major/minor measures in Western music. In summary, we can say that religious communities in Istanbul use similar musical tones while performing their worship.